What's up guys? In this video I'm going to install some new seats in my 190e. So I got the current seats that are just the stock ones, which are pretty bad at just holding you in your place. So when I go through a corner, you completely fly out. Also these seats are pretty damaged, like right there. But yeah, they have a little bit of cushioning, but you can see it just moves around quite a bit. Same goes for the side. Like this is not keeping you in your place at all. So some new seats I think is going to definitely improve the driving experience of this car. So the seats I went for are the Sparco R100. They're pretty cheap. I actually got these used. Well, they're not really used. They actually, someone bought them new and I never came to install them in their car. So I got 2 of them for like a really good deal. So they're pretty cheap seats. One day I would like to upgrade to some higher quality or better seats. But I think for now this is going to be a great improvement over the stock seat. Also, these actually fit me pretty well, even though like I'm pretty tall. I feel like these seats are, pretty nice. I also got some Sparco seat sliders. And of course I got 2 of them. If we kind of look at the current seating position, well, let me get into the car. So yeah, this is kind of my perspective. So as you can see, my steering wheel is blocking my speedometer, which is kind of annoying. And I'm pretty high up in this car because I'm pretty tall. So I think if I move the seat down a lot, it's already the lowest position. I think it's going to improve the way this car drives for quite a bit. So instead of sitting like this, it's going to be more like this. Because right now my seating or my leg position is actually pretty nice. But like the shifter, like if I put it in first, like my arm is like all the way extended. So it's not super comfortable. Like I kind of have to lean in a little bit to actually reach the shifter. So I think if I come down by quite a bit, I think the shifter is also going to be easier to reach, which I think will be a pretty great improvement. Stretching my arm all the way, it's kind of uncomfortable. So I think that will be a great improvement. Now the first one I'm going to start off is the passenger side, and we have to take it out. But I'm actually going to reuse the original seat bracket and modify it to fit the new seats. Hopefully I can bring it down by quite a bit. I should be able to bring it down by quite a bit. We also have to check out how we're going to do this, but I think that will be fine. So let's get started and remove the old passenger side seat. All right, I got the passenger seat out. Wasn't that difficult, like 5 or 6 bolts. Now this thing does have the buckle lock attached to it. So we're gonna have to be a little bit creative because I think it's a little bit up too high to where we cannot reuse it. It has to be a little bit lower. So let's just test fit the seat in the car and see how it looks. Okay, so I got the new seat inside of the car, kind of propped up. It fits pretty well. I got it kind of straight up right now, but I think the fitment itself is pretty nice. I do want to make sure you can kind of see that seat there is kind of tilted backwards a little bit. And I'll make sure I keep it like that, because otherwise I'm just gonna have my, like kind of float over this area. You kind of want to just softly rest on this to make it comfortable. So that's something I'm going to try to keep. We'll see how easy that is or not. So the next thing we're gonna do, the next step is going to take this whole old seat apart and kind of see what we can do to reuse the seat bracket. Okay, so this is the underside of the passenger seat. You can kind of see that these parts are like loose on here, but I'm gonna try to reuse it, just this part, and make my own seat bracket from it. That way we should be able to actually bring it down a little bit compared to this seat, because the mounting position is going to be slightly lower. I think the difference isn't as much as what's kind of hoping for. We'll see. That means we are going to have to re-drill some holes for the seat buckle, but that's whatever. So let's try to take these off. Should be pretty easy. Okay, so I got the seat brackets removed from the actual seat. So you can see now I have just these 2 pieces left over. So what I'm gonna do is basically cut off this top part, so with the little holes in it. And I'm going to weld on my own angle bracket. And I'm gonna weld some bars between the 2 on both sides. And that's where the seat bracket itself is going to connect to, or the seat slider is going to connect to. So that should give it all pretty nice low profile. And I think that will work okay. Now I'm gonna just do some measurements and I'm going to start cutting and weld on some new iron. Okay, so I've spent a few hours trying to get this bracket to work. So this is what I come up with. You can see I got this square piece that the sliders are sitting on top, and that's connected to the original bracket. I welded it. Don't mind the horrible welding, it's strong enough at least. It isn't beautiful, but I'm gonna just throw a nice thick layer of paint over it to hopefully cover it up. So you can see the seat is kind of offset to the left. I had to do that to make it fit, but it works fine. So let's just test fit it in the car, and then I'm going to give it a nice layer of paint, and then we can continue to work on the driver's side. Okay, so quick test fit in the car. I do have enough clearance around all the sides. So one thing I've noticed that the seating height of this chair is about the same as the driver's side, which before I think this side was just slightly higher than the driver's side, but I would love to have the driver's side actually a lot lower. So right now, but I really want to try to make the driver's side a lot lower, or at least like 5-6 centimeters lower. So that's why I did this side first to kind of see the difference. So of course we're missing one important piece, and that's the seat locking mechanism. Now there's actually like, I don't know if you can really see it. It's really hard to tell, but there is like a bolt that goes right in between the bracket and the chassis. I think that's a good location where we can just reinstall the whole mechanism. I think that should work fine, but it's just a matter of trying out. So now I'm going to take the seat out again and actually paint it. Alright, so I took the driver's side bracket out and I basically made this. So the driver's side bracket is a little bit different. So as you can see, it's this thing like runs down at an angle. Don't mind the horrible welding yet, I'm gonna clean it up. It's more of a prototype. I had to make this bracket also at an angle to make sure it's actually at the correct level. Also, I made this bracket to be a lot lower than the passenger side. So let me just install in the car and you can see how much lower it actually sits than the passenger side. Okay, so this is it in the car. So you can see that the front bracket is actually right level with the carpet. So it's actually as low as it can go as the front. So the next thing I have to do is actually figure out where I'm going to drill the bolts side to side and actually mount it. And then I also gotta make a bracket for the belt lock, the seat belt lock. So I'm going to clean up my welds and make them look a little bit nicer. Figure out where to drill holes and then paint the whole thing. Okay, so the driver's side bracket is now finished. I threw a layer of paint on there. It's been fully hardened. The last thing I have to do is actually to make a small bracket for the seat lock, which is this thing. So for that, I just need to make a very small angled piece, which I'm going to use this for. It's going to just connect up like so, and then going to bend it at an angle, and then that piece will actually connect to this side, to the bolt that goes onto the chassis of the car. So it's going to be nice and secure. I kind of didn't want to bolt it to my welded frame because, you know, I don't 100% trust my own welds. So this is going to just make sure that at least that part is going to be very secure. So let's install the bracket back onto the seat. Then the whole assembly back into the car, and then we can just bend it up, drill some holes, throw some paint on, and then it's pretty much finished. Alright, so the seat now has been fully installed. I also made the little bracket to install the seatbelt lock. So it's nice and secure in its place, in a pretty good position. So what I ended up doing, as you can kind of see it from the back, probably have to get a little bit of a light to see it. So yeah, this is the rear of the seat, and I just made a very small bent piece of metal that holds in the seatbelt lock. So nothing really too special, pretty easy to make, but it works very well. Okay, so now just going to check out the seating position. Much better than with the old seat. It's slightly lower, but like this is from my perspective basically. And now I can just see the whole dashboard without having the steering wheel away. So I am sitting a little bit lower, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, I cannot take it out for a spin yet. I got a big bulge on one of my rear tires, so it's not really safe to take it out. But I already know that this is going to be like 10 times better. So when it comes to the seating position, you know, it's still not perfect. I'm just way too long for this car. But if I move the seat even like a little bit further back, the steering wheel kind of is too far away. So I probably have to bring the steering wheel back towards me a little bit. But I also ran into the issue where like this is quite far away from me, so I'd also have to somehow extend the shifter. But at least the seating position is a lot better than with the stock seats, and I can already tell like this is going to keep me in my place a lot better than the stock seat. So I'm really happy with it. Hopefully I can take it out for a spin pretty soon. Alright, so this is how it looks like from the outside. It's a little bit hard to see, but I think it looks a lot better than the stock seats. Just gives it a more of a sporty look. Really happy with the end result. So that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys in the next video.